Welcome back to the Weight Loss Web Novel Author channel. My name is Neil, and I'm also known as Neil Squall 2002-2000, author of the web novel Creation: The Path of a God, found on my website creationwebnovels.studio, and my YouTube channel Creation Web Novel Studio. So this week has been pretty effective in terms of what I've done with weight loss. So starting off with the week, I'm going to have somewhere on the screen my information. On the 10th, I started off at 282.6 pounds. Then on the 11th, you can see that I went down slightly, almost a pound, and then the day after, I went back up. Now, from what I've researched, that's not too unusual. It will fluctuate up and down, kind of like the stock market. So as long as there's a downward trend, that's really all that matters. And then on the 13th, it goes down to 280.6, and then on the 14th, it goes back up. On the 15th, it continues upwards, and then on the 16th, it drops back all the way down to 280.9. So starting off at the week at 282.6 pounds, and then to this morning, 280.9, I've succeeded in reaching my 2 pound goal of weight loss. Now, the difference from the 282.6 to the 280.9, I'm going to just chalk that up to liquid water weight. So overall, I basically met my 2 pound goal, which I'm pretty excited about. Maintaining a 2 pound a week weight loss should be fairly easy for someone my size, but still, I think many of you will agree that there's some apprehension about going through the week and meeting your goals. Like, sometimes when you're eating something, you're thinking in the back of your mind, is this too much? Am I going to just blow off my progress if I just eat this? Should I hold off? But if I don't eat enough, am I going to mess up with my metabolic issues, slow down, freak out my body, or something else, and end up doing more harm than good? So one thing I keep on hearing, especially from nutritionists who have videos on YouTube, is food is fuel for the body. But then you also hear other fitness gurus who talk about intermittent fasting and other diet fads that may or may not work depending on the person. Now, last video I talked about how I was trying to do only one meal, and then for the next 23 hours I wouldn't eat. So that was basically like one meal a day. OMAD, I believe it's called OMAD. 1 meal a day. So the reason why I moved away from that was because while I was working out, I started to feel a little bit dizzy. And generally, when your body lets you know that something's wrong, you should tend to listen to it. And maybe that could be like the body not used to the drastic decrease in caloric intake, considering my size. As you can see, I'm obviously obese. And so obviously there will be some stress being placed on the body, and this could account for feeling dizzy or some other bodily reaction. And I've heard weightlifters say just push through that dizziness and it'll eventually go away. And then but sometimes I hear other people say like, hey, like if you're starting to feel dizzy, that's your body's way of communicating to you that something's off. So what I tried to do was, instead of just doing OMAD, I've still do waking up, going to the gym, and eating something, but I've started to have containers that I'll fill up with food, such as um, grapes, cucumbers, um, bell peppers, mushrooms, plums. Um, I even bought, I started making hard boiled eggs, and I've been eating that, lightly salted for flavor. And I found I usually stop snacking at about 5 o'clock. So I'm not having like one major meal at all at once. I'm kind of taking that one major meal and spreading it out. So the amount of calories I'm consuming is about the same. Now, I can't say the exact calories because I'm not measuring out and portioning out my food. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. But the fact that you can see that I am losing weight, um, that is a good indicator. Now there was ups and downs, but you can contribute that to a lot of factors. Um, Now some people would say, well, since you're over 280 pounds, you should be losing 5 pounds, 10 pounds, those big numbers. But I'm satisfied with losing 2 pounds a week while exercising. Now, here are some of the stats for when I'm working out. I'm going to have it on the screen right now. So, starting from November 10th, alright, so November 10th was a Sunday. So on November 11th, I did squats, and at 120 pounds, I did 10 repetitions and 3 sets. Then I did leg press at 270 at 12 repetitions, 3 sets. And then calves, 170, 10 repetitions, 3 sets. I'm almost always doing 3 sets, so I'm going to skip unless it changes. Leg extensions, 100 pounds, 10 repetitions. Seated leg curl, 120 pounds, 10 repetitions. Hip abduction and hip adduction, 120 pounds, 12 repetitions. And the next day was upper body, so I did abdominal at 100 pounds, 12 repetitions. Back extension, 120, 12 repetition. Torso rotation, 120, 10. Chest press, 120. And you can keep on seeing on the screen what I've been doing. I don't know if I should just read all of it or if it's just kind of like get on with it situation. And then you can see on November 14th, I went lower again. And then 15th, I did upper body. So that was yesterday. And if you notice, just looking at the upper body, some stuff I did increase, but you'll see that some areas I did decrease. And you can see this also where it says keep at this weight. And that's letting me know what I did find out was even though I could hit those heavy weights, I don't think I was doing proper form. So, like, I'd be doing rows, and so I'd be pulling the handles towards me, right, to activate my back muscles. But I wasn't feeling the full area of my back being activated. Like how the image, usually on those machines, they have a picture of like what kinds of areas in the body you're supposed to be activating, what muscle groups, and I wasn't really feeling that. So I decided that instead of like trying to hit just the maximum weight, just take it down maybe 10 or 20 pounds and go for a full 12 repetitions and 3 sets. But this time, while I'm doing it, just kind of like slowly have it come towards me quickly while at the same time I sometimes will close my eyes and I'll just picture what muscle groups are being activated. And then I'll just picture what muscle group is being activated. Now, and then I'll slowly um, do like a negative repetition and put not release, but like just slow down and then do again. And then I wouldn't let go, and so my muscles are relaxing until I finish the set, and I would just rest. And I found out like when I was doing that, there was like a small portion of my back on the spine, like the small like muscle group area I noticed was being activated. Like I could feel it like tensing up and actually doing work. And I didn't really feel that before, which made me think that this entire time I probably wasn't using the correct areas for doing rows, for doing fly or rear delts, um, arm curls, arm extensions, and all that stuff that's upper body. And so I think this time I'll maybe on Monday, I'll do the same thing with my lower body. I'll drop down the weights and just kind of like think about the muscles being activated. That way, that I can gain the most benefit when I'm working out and actually have some size increase. And the more muscles that working out, it will be better for my metabolism and increasing it. So when I'm eating food, the food that I'm taking in is going to where it needs to go instead of or being fully burned up, and some of it using my fat stores instead of like contributing to fat. And so I think that's going to be key. And when I'm eating, I try to keep that in mind. Now on Wednesday night, Thursday, those were Wednesday night. I bought turkey breast, and since it needed to be cooked for 3 hours, and I was kind of like the smell of the turkey smelled really good, so I was like really tempted, and so when it was finished, I did admit to snacking a little bit. I probably ate like 3 ounces of turkey meat, and that probably contributed to the spike in weight. And then on Thursday, I had a dinner event that I needed to go that I didn't realize was happening. So I ate in the morning, not realizing that I needed to do something else. And so that caused also another increase in pounds. So I gained basically 2 pounds over a period of 2 days. And then I was able to decrease it back down to like 280.9, which is where I need to go. So I was a little bit stressed out because on Wednesday morning, I believe, I had reached my 2 pound goal. So I was pretty excited about that. I was like, oh, maybe I can knock out another pound and have 3 pounds this week. But unfortunately, that was not the case. But at least I was able to still reach my 2 pounds. Now, the reason why I keep on saying 2 pounds is because it's all about reaching achievable goals. Now, weight loss, when I was thinking about doing this video today, I thought about other YouTube videos I've seen where the people in the videos who want to lose weight, they'll say like, for the next X number of days, we're going to be doing this type of workout, whatever, and then let's see what the results are. So you're watching usually they're like 15-minute videos. They're pretty short because they understand the majority of you guys want pretty short videos, like 15 minutes or maybe less. Obviously 10 minutes, longer than 10 minutes, so you can get that extra ad revenue, the mid rolls. But 15 minutes is probably like the most that many of our, like right now I'm 17 minutes, so I'm already past that, and I'm probably this video is going to keep on going. So Um, when I watch those videos, you get to see them coming in, out. You see them in the morning, getting ready, going to the gym. The next day, waking up again, doing it again. And you keep on seeing them working out quickly, right? And you do some cut jump scenes and like cutting out some stuff to keep the video short. And then you suddenly see them say, looking at the final results after the X number of days passed, and they've reached areas that they wanted to reach. Maybe like they just want to lose a little bit of like a muffin top kind of thing, or they wanted to get more definitions for like abs. Um, so as a viewer, you're just seeing this 15-minute video, and it just seems like it's happening so fast. Even though like they tell you it's happening in X days, in the back of your mind, you're like, "Holy crap, that is really fast." Um, and so when you're doing weight loss, you're you're not seeing those drastic results. And so for the average person, or maybe it's majority, like over more than average, more than the majority of people, when they see like 2 pounds or sometimes 1 pound, 2 pounds, 1 pound, that doesn't really seem like a lot. Like, you're like, where's my 10 pounds? Where's my 20 pounds I'm losing in a week? And you start doing the calculation going like, wait a minute. Like for me, I'm at 280 and I want to get to 150. Like, that's a lot. That's 130 pounds I have to lose. Um, and then if you think about just 2 pounds a week, that's like 8 pounds, 8 pounds a month. And then if you multiply that by 12, then that's, let's see, 90, I think that's 96 pounds. And then so just round it up to 100. So let's say it's like 100 pounds in a year. And so it's going to be a pretty long time. Like the math, if you just did 2 weeks every week, it's less than a year and a half. But I'm factoring in like life. Life sometimes happens. And so I'm saying that it might take me a year and a half to reach my goal. And most people can't handle that long of a period um, trying to lose weight. And so they get discouraged. Like that's a reasonable response for weight loss is like, man, like I wish I could lose weight faster. Like I want to see, like for guys it might be like I want to see those abs. I'm not quite sure for like women what kind of goals they might, just maybe like overall weight loss. But I know for guys it's generally for, on average it's usually about more definition and being more athletic looking, which um, is a respectable goal to have. And that's, at least that's one of my goals. Like back when I was 150, I looked pretty athletic looking, and that's something that I want to get back to. And so, like a year and a half, you just keep on thinking like, holy crap, like a year and a half, like that's going to take forever. I'm never going to lose that weight. Why am I doing that? Especially if you're just biting on food that you may not be excited for. I try to choose foods that I actually enjoy. So I like hard boiled eggs, and they're super easy to make. Eggs are super cheap. I usually get like a um, dozen eggs, and just, is it? No, it's 24. Yeah, I get usually 24 eggs at a time. And then now I'll probably just start throwing them inside the pot and just do hard boiled. And I can just throw that inside of a plastic container and take that to work and just pop those things when I need some protein, because it's really protein that keeps me feeling satiated, so I'm not feeling hungry. Unlike with carbs, like last before the last video, I had, at one point had eaten ramen noodles, and man, that did not fill me up. I think like maybe 2 hours later, I was like, man, I'm hungry. I want more food. But usually when I eat something with like high protein, like usually I eat like 6 eggs scrambled, and that sets me for the rest of the day after eating some vegetables and stuff. But the problem with doing that is you're just using up dishes, and like I don't want to like just pile up dishes. While hard boiled eggs, you just toss those eggs into one pot, cook them up, and then you just put them inside a tub, and then you just wash that one pot, and then you got food for the week, and it's easily portable, right? And then I also got like kimchi and gakdugi for some fermented foods, because fermented foods I believe is good to have. Like I when I eat like samjang, which is a fermented soybean paste plus red pepper paste, I had a lot easier time with my stomach, and so yeah, that's overall better for when you're trying to lose weight, having that results. And so like this is one reason why I like doing this type of video, because at least this type of format is it's about being accountable. Um, when I know I have to do a video 6 or 7 days from now, it keeps me in the mind of like let's reach my goals. Let's keep this up. Don't get lazy. Don't get distracted. Um, it's also about making sure that I realize that this is a long journey, not a short journey. This isn't like going to another state. This is like freaking Lord of the Rings, um, going from the Shire all the way to Mount Doom. It's going to be a slow process, and I think when if anyone watches these videos, I actually don't know. Um, if you're watching this video, like thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Please like the video, comment, and share. I really appreciate that. Um, but for the most part, this video style isn't going to be like a professionally done like BuzzFeed video or like some of these health guru channels, because this is more about documenting my process and then kind of recording my thoughts on weight loss, and maybe it helps someone. It maybe inspires someone who watched the other videos where like a really athletic person is talking about how they used to be fat and now they're not, and you're just kind of seeing like pictures um, of their progress. They're like, how did I lose X amount of pounds in X amount of weeks? And they're showing you pictures, progress pictures of I used to look like this, and then the next week I looked like this, and then next week I looked like this, and so it just looks like it's a rapid series, and then you're the entire time you're just watching the end result of them looking athletic, instead of some guy who's obviously overweight and still struggling through it, and hopefully if this is like a year and a half later after this video is being made and I've reached my goal, then you can look back at the first video, so episode 1, and say, wow, this person actually was able to reach his goals, and this is the thoughts that were going through his mind, and how he was able to juggle a part time job, writing chapters for his web novel, and also incorporate healthy eating practices and going to the gym on the regular. And that's something that you just have to keep in mind. And the thing that I think people tend to do when they're going on, especially like people who are obese, they tend to want to like announce it, have this big festival that says like I'm on my weight loss journey, and to a degree I'm doing the same thing too by making this video. Um, but the problem is you have to think about the fact that when you're trying to lose weight or when you're trying to do something where you're changing a previous behavior into a desired behavior pattern, it's not a simple thing. You're not going to just wake up and be like, I'm going to suddenly start getting, let's say, A's if you're going to school, or I'm going to start making six figures if you're just starting off. Um, I know some of my friends, they just start off making like $30,000 a year or like $50,000 a year. And nowadays, yeah, sure, they do make, some of them do make a significant amount, maybe like north of um, above median income for America, but that's because like that's time. That's like effort was put into that stuff. That wasn't an overnight thing. That was doing projects. That was doing research. That was networking, doing good on projects, making the clients happy, like um, being consistent with your work behavior, showing up on time, taking initiative. Uh, and the same thing with studying. You don't suddenly go from, let's say, worst case scenario, you're doing horrible. You're getting D's and C's on your homeworks and exams, and you're not suddenly going to go and just become like an A student. Like A student isn't just doing good on exams. It's about having a different mindset. You're not only, let's say, for like a college class, or this actually probably works for high school. You have your textbook, you're reading the chapter, and when you're reading the chapter, you don't have distractions around you. You don't have music. You don't have Netflix. You don't have your phone. You don't have. You find someplace quiet. If you're, let's say, like you have, like your family's off doing something while you're studying, you go to someplace where like you don't have distractions, and you just focus on the book. Like if you're a C or D student, you probably can't handle that kind of a quiet environment. You feel like, oh, I need something to keep me concentrated, so I'm going to turn on something on YouTube. Like let's say you convince yourself, I'm going to play some classical music or something because you think, oh, classical music equals um, people who are intelligent. So I'm just going to do that, and I can at least have something in the background. But when you're doing that, you're distracting yourself. You're like having, like, not literally having, but you're having your brain focus on what you're reading and then also what you're listening to, when it should be entirely on what you're reading. And that's a behavior pattern that you have to have in intentions when you're doing that with intent. When you're reading, you're going through, you're writing notes in the margins, maybe you're underlying concepts that are important, or making notes of, make sure to ask the teacher to clarify or give examples. And you maybe have another notebook that you're writing down, rewording some of the concepts into something that you can actually digest into your mind. And then also, it's not thinking of the homework as just for points of, oh, I'm doing the homework because I want an A. No, you're doing the homework because the homework is the best way to learn the material through repetition and with intentionality, and like understanding and absorbing the material, both not just what you're learning but also what's underneath the question. And then when you're reaching the exam, that's just testing on your preparation. How much of the information did you retain? How well is your understanding of the material? And if it's like a constant like rereading the book, rereading, understanding, like when you're looking at the homework question, you're only looking, like if you're looking at the homework question and let's say you're at home and you don't know what to do, refer back to that, only that section of the book that pertains to the homework. Don't reread the entire chapter, just read that one section. Because I remember hearing about some students, um, like when I was in high school, or And later on, like classmates and stuff, they would they would reread the chapter like over and over and over again, and they'd be like, "Yeah, it took me like hours to do the homework." Yeah, it's because you're reading the entire chapter like 5 times, and like reading the chapter takes time, especially since you're trying to find what section you should focus on. Just look at the question, try to find what section of the chapter it's based on. Just read that short area. Don't something that should be only taking 20 minutes is now taking 5 hours, and no wonder you feel like you don't have any time to do stuff. And that's the same thing with um, like balancing multiple priorities. Like, so I need to eat right. So what am I doing? I'm trying to find ways where I can prep my meals ahead of time. And well, it's not really meals, it's more like snacks that can build up into one meal that's being spread out throughout the day. And when I'm at work, I'm just pulling that out and I'm just eating that. And then at 5 o'clock, I try to just stop. I don't. I try not to eat after 5 p.m. And then I'm kind of like fasting um, throughout that process. And then when I'm waking up, I'm either going to the gym, or if it's Wednesday, I'm taking the rest and I'm just doing other things like writing or editing or um, looking up stuff for work, and other things are my priorities. It's about taking something should take that could take like 2 hours, like preparing meals, and trying to find out how to like make that into a more efficient or effective method they can squeeze in, and that frees you up for more stuff. So I've learned that when I do upper bodies, it takes usually an hour and a half, but when I do lower bodies, it takes about an hour. So I try to plan that into my day of how I'm going to do stuff. And then with writing, I know about like how long it takes for me to write a chapter, and then like how long it may take to double check the work and then to upload it. And then also re-editing some of the chapters for the second edition. Um, that one that one's kind of different. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, depending like how how bad of a chapter it is and how much I need to like. Is it some light first aid, or is it some like major surgery where I'm like going in and having to like start lopping off paragraphs and like rewriting like multiple paragraphs, or like adding in more descriptions, or getting rid of dialogue tags, replacing with facial features, or like adding more descriptive so like the readers can actually see um, what the world is like through the text, so that it's more of an immersive experience. And some of the ways that works out is on my Discord. I have a lot of my readers um, can communicate with me, and I communicate with them. And one of those readers who's been around for like maybe several years on this Discord server, I talked with him yesterday, like messaged, and I asked like, "What do you think of my work?" Like, I just think it's a time factor with the growth, and it's eventually going to get there. But like, if it's something major, like I need to know. And since I've known this, like known as much as I could know of someone who I communicate on Discord, like the person is pretty decent, like pretty awesome at giving advice, and also like what they contribute to um, my work. And I'm really appreciative of this person and all the readers that are on my Discord. Um, they mentioned how they enjoy reading my work. They don't find it repetitive, and it's improving. And so those things are really all that matter um, for a web novel. Like, because you can always go back. It's different from traditional writing where once you publish the book, that's kind of it. You can't really like republish a book, I don't think. At least I haven't seen on YouTube videos of writers saying like, "Oh, I republished the book," because like once those texts, like those printed copies are out there, they're out there. Or those downloaded the ebooks, they're out there. You can't just update them, I don't think. Um, but with web novels, you can do that. Like all my work is on my website. I I control um, how my book is, and so with as I get better at writing, like what I did with the first edition compared to the second edition, maybe when I'm 2 years later, maybe I even get um, better at how I describe scenes, and so maybe I go back and I do the first book. I do like a third edition, where it's even better. And so when the new people who haven't read my book reading it, they're like, "Wow, I really like this book." Like they might not see the improvements I made, but they have an overall better experience. And the readers who've been around for a while, when they reread the book, they're like, "Oh, this flows a lot better. The characters have more depth to them. The scenes are a lot clearer. I can understand what's happening." And it's an overall enjoyable experience for everyone, including myself. Because when readers are enjoying my work, I prefer that. I would rather they are having fun reading it instead of feeling like, oh man, like this is super um, boring work. Like when is this going to be done? So it's all about being intentional and understanding that things take time. I mentioned last video, episode one, about how long I've written this web novel. It's been multiple years of me working on this. Book one took a while, and I'm still not even done with book two. Um, and when I compare when I first started to now, it's not completely different, but it's better. The story flows better. The scenes are um, improved. It's it may not be um, George R. Martin level of writing. So like I'm definitely like HBO is not or Cinemax or these other paid cable companies are definitely not going to be offering me a deal in the near future. Um, but like the people who are reading my books, they're from the age group I'm seeing. It's adults. Adults are reading it. They're taking the time to reading web novels. Like I saw like it's like what 20 to 24 or something like that, and then like I have some like over 30, like I have 20 to 30, and then 30 to 40, and I have some a little bit older. It's like those are really rare. So I think majority of my audience is between the age of like 20 to 34, something like that, and that's awesome. That makes me feel like really great about my work because um, adults tend to have a higher expectation of quality. They've a lot of these readers have read a lot of books, and so they already know like what's good writing, what's bad writing. It's completely different if it was like um, someone who was like still in high school, middle school, or like some other lower level schooling where they've never really gotten into books before, and like my book would be the first one. Um, that wouldn't happen. Like sure, like they may say like, oh, like this is a great book, but they have nothing to compare it to, and my series really isn't. Um, that's not it's not targeted towards them, and so like I don't think they would even enjoy it. Like it's very slow paced sometimes. Like book two is really slow paced, and so um, non-adults generally, from what I've seen from like BookTube and other YouTubers, it seems like non-adults tend to want faster pace, like things to go quickly, and my work really isn't like that. It I try to like build up the world, do a lot of like world building, um, try to introduce lots of characters, viewpoints. It's definitely not going to be like traditional writing where it's like only like let's say 60,000 words. Like book one is like 250,000 words, and then book one is 250,000 words, and then book two is probably gonna be like more than that. It could be like 500,000 words, which most authors would be like, whoa, that's too much. Like you need to like cut some of that stuff down and like condense it. But that's how web novels go. Web novels tend to be a lot longer. Um, like I've read some web novels that the entire thing is like the size of like the entire Harry Potter series, and that's like just for one um, book. I think that they web novels have their own like books maybe, but like the way it's organized on the websites, it's like chapter 1,000 or chapter 2,000 or something like that. And so it's definitely not like traditional um, books that you go to a library and you just pull out. It's completely different. And so that's to kind of like tie into the whole concept of weight loss where you have to you have to reach attainable goals and understand that you will get better. Like, I will get better with weight loss. Maybe I'm only doing 2 pounds right now, but maybe later I'll do 3 or 5 pounds. Maybe the way that I prepare food will improve as I continue to listen to YouTube channels and read books on better dieting. Um, I'm able to find more effective ways to fuel my body. Um, and in weightlifting, how to, once I establish a good foundation for my muscles using the machines, then I can start doing the more like advanced like compound motion, the more advanced compound motions, and then that should boost up my levels too. And so, yeah, this is this video and all the future videos I plan on doing um are going to be very, it's a slow pace. Like this is already a 45-minute video and I'm probably not going to cut that much out. I This is pretty raw in its nature. Um and so yeah, like I I don't want I want I guess I mainly want to do this so that I can look back and see um, what I was thinking um, at the beginning, and then also if people actually watch this video and this channel, um, especially people who are reading my web novel, they can kind of understand like what I'm kind of like what's my mindset and like what's the process because yeah, like they may be thinking um like my readers have never said this, which I'm really thankful for. They've never they've never demanded like, oh, like when's the next chapter coming out? It's more like, hey, it's more of a friendly tone of like, hey, so when's the next chapter coming out? And then when I say like, oh man, I'm sorry, I've been busy. Like they usually message me on Discord. Um, and I'm like, sorry, I've been busy. Like I'll try to get up as soon as possible. They're really understanding. Um, but at least maybe this video, they can kind of see what's going through my mind. Um, so it gives them like a good like mindset about like kind of a good, like, something to watch to understand what what's happening and information. At the same time, for people who are watching for weight loss, they can, you guys, if you're watching this for weight loss, maybe this can be a good way to inspire you to um, be better at losing weight. And I don't know, like, I don't really see this channel really blowing up, and so I guess I'm not really expecting a lot of views or like comments. It's more just like a reality because this is not, I don't know, like I at this moment, like being obese, I don't know like what types of advice I could give someone who's trying to lose weight. Like it'd be like someone at the gym. Like if I was in the gym and I saw someone like doing like deadlifts and like the person's like completely athletic looking, he or she is like doing exactly what needs to be done, and I just like kind of like interject my thoughts, like that. I'm sure they'd be friendly about it, but in the back of my mind, I'd be like, why is this person coming to me and like talking to me? Like he's obviously has no idea what he's doing, and that makes me think about the importance of results, like being able to show you have the qualifications to for others to kind of like pay attention to what you're talking about. So, like with web novels, I don't really have that qualification really. Um, I mean, I do have a, sizable amount. Like it's enough where like it raised people's eyebrows, saying like, oh wow, like he's getting that many views a day, but it's not to the degree it was like, whoa, like it's completely blowing my mind. Um, and so it's mainly people who are reading my work and they really love it and they're really passionate about it. And I appreciate every person that's reading my work and who enjoys what I'm trying to build, but it's not to the degree where my websites bring in like 20,000 users a month or something. Like I'm not to the point where I can live off of my work. I still need my part-time job. So and so when I'm just kind of like thinking when I talk follow other authors or if I run into someone out in the real world who's also writing, I can't. I tell them that I'm a writer, but like it's not to the degree where if I said something, they would actually kind of like put any weight into what I'm saying. It's more like, okay, that's an interesting view. It's completely contrary to every other person I've ever heard who's like a professional. But like, sure, I'll just toss it in there and then kind of like see what happens to it. Now if I was like bring in like a lot of unique visitors a month, like if I was bringing like like 30,000 unique visitors a month, and I was like, hey, like if you want to do a story, you gotta do it this way. Like if you want to do a website, you gotta do it this way. And I was able to say like, hey, like my story brings in this much money. Like when I'm telling you like this is how you become a full time author, this is how you do it. Um, there's more weight into my words. Like I do have articles that like promote the idea of web novel authors using YouTube as a platform for audiobooks because I truly believe that like if you have a good voice and you got a great story, YouTube is perfect. Like YouTube, especially with what's happening um, with like regulations and stuff, with some channels that are going to be affected by certain. I kind of don't want to go into that. Um, but if if you're someone who's like, I'm writing a series that's for people over the age of like 21, um, maybe not necessarily like in terms of like certain like themes, like you guys know what themes I'm talking about, that when I say uh over 21, um it's obvious like what themes I'm talking about. Like you don't necessarily have to do that, but there are some themes that are really relatable for adults. Like I read one book where the man was an older guy, like probably like over 50, and like he would be talking about like his bones, like his joints, how it aches, and retirement, and like dealing with that, and then living alone, not having family, um, and dealing with like just those kind of experiences before like the whole fantasy side happened. Where he discovers a doorway to a fantasy world, and he kind of like tries it out and sees what happens. Um, that's that's obviously like there was almost no themes that would be like certain websites, um, those kind of themes, but like that's for adults. Obviously, that's not for non-adults. That's non-adults probably don't want, can't really relate to the feeling of isolation when you're older, when most of the people that you've known and loved have passed away, or like have created families of their own, and so like you kind of lose connection with the outside world, and you're thinking about um just being alone. Like that's not what they want. Like they, and it's kind of like slow paced. um yeah, that's obviously not going to be something that non-adults are going to be interested in. They want something that's fast, like Harry Potter is like fast, like bam, bam, like get to Hogwarts, get to um, find the friends, like something's happening, like let's go, like right into Act Two, like Act Two, bam, like all this stuff. Here's um, the um, the thing with at the climax with the the antagonist, and then let's go into Act Three, and then it's all resolved, and like let's go to Book Two, right? Like some of these books are like, when are we going to get to Act Two? Um, and then when you Act Two, it's like, where are we going? Like, um, how long is this going to happen? And it's more about like understanding the character as a person, like the world that they live in, like what their thoughts and feelings are. Um, and so, like Act One and Act Two or Act Three may not have as clear cut lines when you're like, oh, now in Act Two, or now I'm in Act Three, right? Um, like Avengers is like a fast pace, like let's do this, like adults and non-adults both can enjoy that. But there's some movies where like I'm not an expert, so I don't want to like name a movie that like it's not like clear from Act One to Act Two. But some movies that I'm thinking of that weren't as probably weren't, are not as popular with the younger age people would. I'm kind of thinking of like um, a girl with a dragon's tattoo. I don't think like, I think that's more for adults. For the also the obvious um, themes and content, but I'm trying to think of others. Like I read one book that was called A Voyage from Yesteryear. That was a really interesting book, and that one was, it was a lot about like economics and like psychology and societies, and um, it It's about like how to deal with a paradigm shift for like economic systems, and how do people living in those economic systems handle such a extreme paradigm shift for that. And like that's definitely not something that I don't think non-adults would be would be interested in. They'd kind of like, okay, like let's go on with that. And so um yeah, like so like when you're making like these audiobooks, it's not only do you get the benefit of the reach of YouTube for like your age. Let's say like you primarily your target audience is above the age of 21, and so like there are a lot of people who fit that. There are a lot of people who work jobs that allow them to listen to something as they're working, and so they're looking for something that to kind of like help their day move along faster. Like I don't know if like truck drivers would be interested in this type of stuff of like listening to an audiobook. But if it was engaging enough and it was like long enough, like maybe they'd be like, oh man, that this is making my job a lot easier. Um, I'm very ignorant about truck drivers or like Uber drivers, so if I'm saying something wrong, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, like these are stuff where in the article that I wrote, like I talk about how I think I think my both my playlists for book one and book two, if a person were to read it, it'd be like 50 some hours or something like that, or maybe longer. So like if you're talking about like 4,000 hours of watch time and then 1,000 subscribers, like sure the 1,000 subscribers may take a while, but the 4,000 hours watch time, if you're dealing with 150 hour to 100 hours, like going through your entire content, that's like one person doing that, and it's not like a lot of like YouTube channels you have to stick with like you're going from one video that's not connected to the next video or may have a thin connection, um, and then you keep on like building from like day after day or week after week or month after month or year after year. I don't think there are many channels that are like year after year, but you get what I'm saying. Um, and so they're probably not like they're probably not going back to like the beginning of the dawn of time for that YouTube channel. Like let's say like that YouTube channel made like 1,000 videos. Like they're probably not going into like the first video and going through all 1,000 videos, right? They'll probably like they'll probably dive into like the backlog, the last 100 videos, whatever, um, that they may find relevant to them. But that's completely different from a web novel, like or like an audiobook. Like you can't just dive into a book at like the second to last chapter and like enjoy it. You have to go to the very first video, and you have to, let's say you had a book that was 1,000 videos long, and that it's something that you enjoyed. So like that would be the key. Like you're not going to go through 1,000 videos unless you enjoy it, right? So let's say you're going through chapter one, and then let's say hypothetically it's like one of those web novels I talked about. It has like 1,000 chapters, and you're going through all each video was a chapter, and you're going through all 1,000 videos. That's one person. That's one person watching 1,000 videos. I don't think any YouTube channel um, could do that, and so that's one of the articles I wrote. Was that's the reason why I wrote it, was to just get authors to think about how if they set it in an episodic format, how really helps it could really help grow their brand and like their global reach, because if YouTube sees like a person going through like 1,000 videos, like just one person, and let's say like 100 people were going through 1,000 videos, I think YouTube would notice. I think like the algorithm would be like, hey, what's happening here? Like maybe this channel is, we should promote them. And so that's what would happen. So but the problem is, since my own channel isn't like that, it only has like 200 some subscribers. It doesn't have as many hours so far. Um, and so it's about results. And so if an author is reading my article and was checking out my YouTube channel, they're kind of like, I don't think this person knows what they're talking about. Like, yeah, it sounds interesting. It could work in theory, but they might say like, yeah, like that's like it just doesn't make sense. Um, and so yeah, like that's why results. There's some other examples where I talked about like um in the same article talking about just YouTube monetization. Let's say like you got the 1,000 subscribers, you got the 4,000 hours of watch time, and let's say like you got, I mean like CPMs like are always fluctuating up and down, but let's say like you had like 1,000 views per video, and like let's say each video was brought you like $1. Let's just say a dollar. So it's 1,000 long video series, and you got 1,000 viewers per video. You just made $1,000, and then with the next thousand video people that watch it, that's another $1,000. And so it's completely different from like other channels where sure they could have it goes up and down, and so and like some videos do higher and some doing lower, but if you did the average um per video, it'd be completely different compared to a YouTube channel that's doing an audiobook of 1,000 videos that all strongly connected to one another. If it really blew up, and let's say like YouTube starts promoting it, you'd easily make a lot of money. Let's say like CPM was like $2. Like congratulations, you just made $2,000 off of 2,000 people. Because it's not like in a lot of like videos, like let's say like one video made like 2,000 has 2,000 views, and another video only has like 20 views, and it's kind of goes up and down. It's like those 2,000 only is $2 maybe, or maybe it's $4 depending on what the CPM is. You have $4 or you have $2, and that's it. It's kind of like, okay, cool, I just made like $5 or something like that. But if it's all connected, right, that's a completely different story then. Those 1,000 viewers now equal $1,000 instead of 1,000 viewers equaling $1, right? Let's assume that every thousand all the 1,000 people actually go through the entire thing because like they really enjoy your work. They enjoy the way that you narrate the character's voice. They enjoy your story. There's tons of stuff that they enjoy, and so they actually go through the full 1,000 videos, and so 1,000 people would then equal $1,000. While on some other YouTube channel where each video isn't connected, one video that does 1,000 views doesn't mean that that's going to mean another video is going to also hit 1,000 views. Maybe you only hit a 500. Maybe you only hit 100. Maybe you only hit 50. Like, you can't predict what's going to happen because your next video isn't really connected. So there's nothing to get the person to like come back that they have to, um, especially since sometimes people don't find out that another video has been uploaded on the channel that they're following. Um, and so, yeah, you're going to have that fluctuation. Like some videos are going to do 1,000, some videos 500, some videos 20, some videos maybe 10,000. It's going to go up and down. It's extremely volatile. And you can't run a business off of on volatility, which is the reason why like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency isn't a thing because like you can't run an economy off of a volatile currency. But if you have a series where all the videos are connected, all 1,000 videos, right, all connected, you can't just start. Maybe you start at chapter 2, so there's only 999 videos. But you can't start at chapter 100 and keep on going and feel and like know what's happening, right? So, assuming that 1,000 people really like your work, then I mean it could go up. Let's say like minimum is 1,000. It could go up like some volatility. Maybe like someone gets to like chapter 10, they're like this is boring, or maybe someone gets to like chapter 300, it's like well this is like too long. Like I'm bored now. Um, but those 1,000 viewers are going to be going through the entire 1,000 videos. And then if you're making $1 per every video, that's $1,000. It's completely different. And so, but it's about results, and my channel doesn't have results. And so when I try to explain this concept, there's not much weight on my words, and that's why results are important. Same thing with the weight loss thing. This is not like a channel that gives other people advice. This is about my journey on weight loss. And if you find like something that kind of like strikes um, inspiration in your mind as you're watching this, then that's where the usefulness can come in. Or maybe if you just find my rambling to be interesting, that would be unexpected. If you find my rambling to be enjoyable. And so, um, yeah, like results really do matter. Like people don't like. I've one time posted on Facebook about like how results really are the thing that matter, and it got a lot of negative comments. Like people got really, they felt like they were being attacked. I guess I'm not quite sure, but when I mentioned how results matter, yeah, I was like, whoa, like I did not expect that to happen, um, and the reasoning in it is because like people need to see something that's happening in order to like decide if um their assumption is like if they can like hold on to something like semi tangible. um let's say like you're finding a relationship and you want to know whether or not you're going to um become serious or like get married or have kids with this person. You need results that are going to give you a feeling of um, like reassurance that like things are going to be okay, like a sense of security about things. Maybe the person has a good job or has a good personality, has their own place, um, is a clean person, makes their bed, keeps their room clean, does the dishes, their bathrooms are clean, I know for guys, like, uh, I feel like for guys, if they clean, if their restroom and kitchen and their place is clean, I feel like potential significant others um, would find that really impressive. Because most people I know, the um, like just talking in passing and like hanging out with other friends and going to their places, like I mean, it's good. It could be better. Um, and that's like what's in your mind. It's like people who like actually like take out like a toothbrush and like start like cleaning up or like do like the whole like steam clean like edges or like cleaning out the grout and other stuff like that. Um, like really wiping down the whatever, and they do that like on a weekly basis where it's like ingrained in their behavior. Um, like the entire place is like spotless. Um, and you come over to the place and it's like it's regularly like that. Like it feels better to like hang out at those people's places. If it's messy, then like um I don't know, like it doesn't always give quite as good of an impression. Like I've like I don't know, it sounds unfair and I could see people thinking that it shouldn't matter, but like if you're trying to find like a significant other, like someone that you don't spend like the rest of your life with maybe, um or even it's like a short term thing, maybe it's like a few months, like um these are things when like you kind of like see like I try to like this is I try to put some effort into like dressing up. Like I wear obviously I wear suspenders, and that's because like it's a lot easier for like someone like me who's obese, and then I prefer not having designs on my t-shirts. Um, and this is it's a Ralph Lauren, so like it's fairly respectable looking, and I have um, khakis, black khakis, and I have matching pair of socks. Like you may think that that's not impressive, but like it's about intentionality, and obviously I brush my hair. Um, you can see like I can run my hand through my hair. Like it falls down because I actually brush it, and then I also like brush my beard. Um, I probably I don't know whether I'll keep it or I'll shave it. It's kind of unusual for me to have this long of a beard, and so it's a fascinating thing, and so I kind of want to keep it just to see like how long I can grow it out. And the whole long hair thing is just because like I really it's relaxing for me having long hair. Um, and so I don't know, like I try to put in effort because like people see that and they see like when you try to put effort, it matters. Um, and so like wash your clothes, um, make your bed, um, have when you have a if you have a laptop, keep it clean. Don't have like food particles on it, um, and just have an environment that's inviting for other people to come in. Because if you don't pick if habit like I said in the beginning of the video, habits take time to build up. So if you don't build up these habits, then um, when you do need to build up, like you might not have the time. And so imagine for me, like at some point, I want to, um, I want to do like a guest speaking at like a convention for like writers to like give advice when I have results that people can be like, oh, like Neil knows what he's talking about, so I can listen to him. And so when I do guest speaking at a convention, I would prefer not being obese. Um, there is some of a vanity kind of aspect to it where I do want to look presentable when I'm talking in front of people. I want to be able to fit into a nice suit because when I'm wearing a suit, even if it's a nice suit, it doesn't look flattering. But if I'm back to my 150, I'm wearing a suit, that's a completely different story. Even like a cheap suit would look infinitely better than like me now if I wore like $1,000 suit. Um, and so that weight loss, like I said, it's probably gonna be a year and a half. And if I waited, it's still gonna be a year and a half, maybe even longer. And if I was invited and they're like, hey, in 3 months we want you to like show up at a convention and talk about whatever. I'm 3 months. There's no possible way that I could lose 130 or more pounds in 3 months without getting like surgery done, and it's not going to look flattering. Um, but if I start now and I'm intentionally working out, um, it's going to be a lot better. Like my skin isn't probably going to be like hanging off of me. Like it looks like I'm dying. I'll probably have some definition and look um, more presentable, and it's going to give me more confidence when I'm talking in front of people. And so, when thinking about that, like that's also with results too. Like if you're talking in front of someone, like it's better to look a certain way, at least in my mind, um, if you can change it. Like I can change my weight. I don't have a medical condition that's preventing me from losing weight, and I don't have, for myself, I don't have anything stopping me from losing my weight aside from myself. And so it's preferable for me to be in a position to lose weight because you'll look better when I'm in front of people talking to them. And that's also one of the reasons why I started this whole channel is to get used to talking to people who I might not be seeing. Like maybe I did like a webinar or something, and I can't see the audience. Maybe there's a chat on one or the other side, but for the most part, I'll be just talking to like a camera, and so getting used to that experience, like dealing with that, uh, that takes time, and so this this channel is really about like helping me like invest into myself, and that's another important concept that I think a lot of people don't think about is the importance of investing in yourself. And investing in yourself isn't just about money. It's it's taking time to make changes that can help you out in the long term. So investing in myself for weight loss is better quality of life. When I'm sleeping, I have a better time. Lately, when I'm sleeping and I wake up, like my back hurts because I sleep on my stomach and then there's a lot of aching. And you think just like laying on your bed would like be better, but if I don't get out of bed and I just start moving around, that backache will like keep on going. It won't go away if I'm just laying in bed. And so obviously I need to strengthen my back muscles, and also um, though it may be unfair, um, but people who are healthy looking do get treated differently. Um, I remember when I was 150 versus now, uh, dealing with people is completely different. And that's because like they can see the results. The results is now I'm obese. the results then was I was athletic, and so um, that's kind of going back into the whole results idea. But yeah, like intentionality, like taking time to do stuff, um, investing into yourself. Um, Sometimes it's buying a book and studying it. Like if you want to know how to create a website, then watch some videos, or um, if you have money, maybe buy a book. Like YouTube is free. Um, and if you have a local library that has a computer, like I know some places it would be like 30 minutes, some places longer. Well, you be like sign up and you can access the internet for 30 minutes. And sure, it might take you a long time because there are other people waiting, but that's 30 minutes that you didn't have before. And so it's kind of like water. Like I used to drink soda a lot, now I drink water a lot. Um, it's a minor thing, but it's going to have far-reaching impacts. And this is investing into myself, drinking water, um, and then like actually keeping track of it on my phone. Um, that's also investing into myself. Getting this camera, this microphone, this was investing into myself for my web novel. Um, there's a bunch of stuff, and a lot of it, yeah, there are some stuff that costs money, but there are a lot of stuff that's for free. Like if you have access to the internet, maybe instead of like watching Netflix, you read up on something to develop a skill, create your own business, ways to make money. Um, you don't A business isn't about like having to take out a loan to start off. Sometimes it's just like for me, it was just starting typing up chapters and then setting up a Patreon account and a PayPal. Like if you go to my website, which I'll have like the link up here, and then in the description, you can. There's a whole section that says like how do I support this website, and I have like a bunch of things that listed out for like how you can actually support what I'm doing, and like I also have Google AdSense on my website. So when you're going through, um, there may be like mobile games that you can click on if that you can play, or advertising for something that's related to you. Because Google is very good at targeted ads, and so when you see it advertising, it probably is something that's related to what you've been looking for. And I also have stuff related to Amazon that you can see. So if you're to, let's say, um, you buy instant ramen noodles, and generally um, you went to like let's say like Costco or something like that, but Costco is like a 15-minute drive, and you don't really need it right now because you still have some. You just at some point you need to get some, and you have like a Amazon Prime account, then like you just order it and then you just get it in 2 days, and that helps me out. Um, um, on my website. So I'm not gonna have like right now. I'm not gonna have that on this on this video. There's not gonna be anything in this description. Um, all my stuff. I'm going to try to keep like anything advertising related, and promotion and all that stuff on my website. So just check out in the description below and go there, and it'll be up in the top part of um, the top part of the website, and then also um, some of the latest chapters also have like if you want to support my work, then like click on this link here. So it's gonna have that stuff because I don't want to deal with ads too much on my this YouTube channel. I want to kind of keep it pre ad free until I get to monetization, but that's a separate topic that's like far off, and I don't even know if I'll ever even get there. I honestly cannot imagine 1,000 people um, watching these videos of mine and like following it. It's beyond me. And sure, like I've watched Roberto Blake and some Nick Nimmin and some other YouTubers that talk about how to improve your channel. But the purpose of this channel is not um, to grow an audience. But if you're watching this, like thank you. Like that's pretty awesome. Um, like leave a comment, share this video, like the video, subscribe, click on notifications and all that stuff. And just comment, maybe saying like, "Hey, I do enjoy watching your video. Um, don't be so negative," or something like that. You could type in something like that. But for now, I don't know. I'm not in the mindset of thinking like this YouTube channel is going to like blow up or anything. This is more so a year and a half later, I can look back and be like, yeah, I was 300. Now I'm 150, and I made it. And then when someone's like, "How'd you do it? How'd you lose weight? Like, what did you do differently?" I'll be like, just go to my YouTube channel and just watch from video one, and then watch, um, like if it's a year and a half, that's what 52 in a year, and then half of 52 is 26. So that's 52 plus 26 is 78. 78 videos. I'd be like, watch those 78 videos, and then you'll be able to see like the changes each week and whatever. And maybe like you'll gain some knowledge in addition. Like I'll probably talk about like common sense stuff that I kind of think about that I'm not giving advice. Like this I don't want to I don't see this YouTube channel as being an advice stuff. So like when I'm talking about stuff, it's not me saying like you should do this. It's more just like these are just things I've noticed, and whether you do them or not, they have really no bearing on me. Um, it's more of like someone watching this and being like, wait a minute, that does make sense. Or, wait a minute, this person did lose weight. Or, I am a writer. Or, I have multiple priorities. And if this person can juggle multiple priorities, then maybe I can juggle multiple priorities. And it's going to be that kind of setup. Um, I don't know if that makes sense or not. It does in my mind, and when I'm saying it, it doesn't make sense. But um, just comment below if like I'm completely wrong about this. Like I'd enjoy like chatting with people about this in the comment section about what they think. But yeah, that's why like that's why these videos are so long that it may sound like I'm rambling, but it's more just like thoughts I have and that I kind of want to record and how it kind of like relates to my weight loss, to my writing, to work. But work, I'm not talking about specific stuff. It's more just like the aspect of having work and why, even though your work may not be something that you're passionate about, um, you should still um, you should still have one because like you still need to pay the bills, you still need to whatever. Um, it's just being responsible and like so the one thing I've noticed is talking about work and money, um, being healthy, like buying eggs, buying vegetables, and all that stuff. I used to like eat a lot of takeout, go to restaurants and other stuff like that. And the interesting thing is, the amount of money that I would spend would be like a lot. and so I wouldn't have that much left over. I'd be living like paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, which is not really responsible. That's not very adult like. Um, I know people who do a lot better, and so they what they have in the bank account is a lot more than mine. Um, and so the cool thing is now that I've decided to eat healthy and kind of spend money intentionally, is I end up having a lot more in savings, and I'll be able to like um maybe like invest into something, maybe put into like a index fund or something. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying like what I might be doing. Um, and so put away for retirement. Um, things that like a responsible person does, because even though, yeah, I mean, I admit I do at some point I would love to like I'm writing my web novel, and I would love to be able to hire a professional artist to do like a manga, a web comic of my work, like a professionally done one, like on the scale of like someone could compare to like Naruto or like um Overlord or Goblin Slayer or one of those other big professionally done comics. Um, I'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to hire someone, but that's more of like I'm not going to base that one off of like my work stuff, because I'm going to try to keep my work income primarily for like rainy day. So like saving it up in case something happens, because you need to be thinking about the future, and at least I need to be thinking about the future. And if something were to happen, let's say I need to go to the hospital, or something happens to my vehicle, or something happens that's like an emergency, I need to have things saved up. So the only way I could do a web comic would be like if my website or like if my YouTube channel were to blow up, and like let's say my web channel maybe was like 100,000 users per month coming in, and like I was getting significant amount, um, and let's say like maybe like I got enough to like hire someone or hire several people, hire people to draw out the webcomic. Um, that'd be awesome, but that'd be purely off of like what my website and anything connected to my web novel, YouTube, and other stuff brings in money, because yeah, like you need to keep things separate. Like you need to have like real life stuff, and then hopes and dreams, like saving up for like hiring a professional artist. Like the artist, if like imagine if I went up to an artist who was like a professional and like did really good work, um, and I was like, hey, like I want you to draw this web comic for me, and they're like, okay, like how long is this going to go for? It's like, well, I have only enough money to pay you for like X amount of weeks, and then let's see what happens. Like that's not going to be like that's not going to give them reassurance. That's going to make them feel like, I mean, they'll probably take the money, but like they'll be at the same time like checking their emails or like checking Instagram or DeviantArt or like these other sites for more work coming in, because they're like, hey, like I can't rely on Neil to like bring in money, and so like I need to like save up for my own things. So that's like the same thing with my job. So the income coming in, I'm saving up for like my future, and so that's the same kind of mindset. Like, um, just because I want to do something like a web comic, like it needs to be able to be self self funded, um, self sustaining, off of my work, not off of like what my job is bringing in. which is a bummer. I don't know. Maybe if I save enough, if I got a sufficient amount saved up, there is like a T-shirt design that I there's an artist that I really think is great. Their work is great, and if I got to save up a certain amount of money, um, I might like reach out to them, and be like, hey, like, could you design this for a T-shirt? Blah blah, and then sell the T-shirt and maybe make money. But even then, like, if you're gonna do a T-shirt, you need to have an audience to sell to. If you don't have an audience, you're just selling to a T-shirt and like not have money for like marketing and stuff. Like, why do that? Like, you just waste money. And so running a business is about being smart. It's not being impulsive. You have to like really think things out. I made some really like wasting money moves that I kind of regret, but it was a learning experience, and now that helped shape my thinking about what to do in the future with money. And now, like, now that I'm eating healthy, I'm able to save up more money. Like, my financial situation is going to be a lot better. It currently is a lot better, but it can only get better in the future, um, as I save up more money. And so if something does happen, I'll be like, yeah, I got this. And I feel like a lot of people don't think like that. Um, but that's a mindset. I think once you have a goal and you start thinking about it, then things start like falling into place. And if you're serious about it, um, you figure out how to make it work. Um, like I went to a convention where someone asked the speaker, they're like, I have a part time job. How do you find time to write your work? And the guest speaker like didn't know how to answer the question, but it's kind of like, you just do. Um, if you want to write a web novel or you want to write a book, you find the time. Maybe it's an extra 5 minutes. Maybe an extra, like, you find the 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Maybe you find an hour. Maybe you sleep 30 minutes less than you usually do, or maybe you figure out you like plan out your meals so that, like, let's say Sundays, if you're not working on Sundays, you like prep out your meal for the entire week. Then the time that you normally spend like cooking, you now can spend towards writing. Um, and maybe you set up a calendar or schedule where like each day you plan out what you're going to do and you make sure you stick to that. Um, and but that's about priorities and like being intentional and like investing into yourself, because that really is investing time and energy into something that you don't even know is going to bear fruit. Like, I don't know if my web novel is going to amount to anything. I'm confident. I'm not saying that I'm not confident, but um, maybe the levels I'm seeing, like, that's it. I mean, I do admit that yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, I did hit a mile marker, which I didn't think was going to be until like the end of November that I was going to hit. So when I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that's awesome. Like, I was pretty like conservative with my thinking, um, with estimating when I would hit that marker. I was like, hey, if I hit it sooner, then I hit it sooner. And so maybe maybe like 6 months from now, that marker will be like, that number that I hit will be like 3 times greater. And then that's when like things may start picking up, and then that's how like things start, is where um it takes time and you have to be patient, and most people aren't patient. And that's also why I create this channel. Like I said before, like, 2 pounds a week. That's what I'm aiming for. Bare minimum, like, can I reach 2 pounds? If I can reach 2 pounds every week, so like I'm not saying like 2 pound, like let's say like 180, I go up to 182 and I go back to 180 and I keep on like going there. So technically I'm losing 2 pounds. I'm just kind of like going up and down 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, and so I'm only between like this 10 pound range plus or minus 180. I'm just kind of like yo-yoing up and down off of that 180. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when I hit 180, then I hit 178, then I hit 176, then I hit 174, then I hit 172, then I hit 170. I keep on going down that each week, hitting that 2 pounds mark. And if I can do that, then it's just time. That's just effort. The 2 pounds is effort, and then just time. And that's the same thing with web novel. If I just put out a quality chapter, try my best, if I get improve, and then and then I'm just consistent and just it's time plus time, then I'm sure I'll get my audience. But most people can't think like that. They think 3 months. I've been doing this 3 months and I got nothing to show for it. What's happening? Or maybe they do 6 months, or maybe even a year. Maybe they do 5 years. But as long as I feel like if you're improving and then you're in time, you'll get there. And you can't just give up. That's why like sometimes maybe it's not what you're passionate about, but you do need a job where it's bringing in the money so you can live, and then also it's not taking away too much time to like from your passions. And so you just keep on trying. You keep on going along, and then eventually someday you'll get that recognition, or you'll reach that mile marker. Let's say for YouTube you hit that monetization goal, or maybe you get that email inviting you to guest speak, or maybe you get that the the Patreon numbers, or maybe you get the Google AdSense numbers, or you get whatever metric that you're aiming for. That metric, um, eventually you'll reach that metric where you'll be like, okay, now I need to go to the next one. So if I was doing it for myself, my thing is web novel, then web comic, while doing web novel. So like there'd be a separate team that's working on the web comic that I would overseer. Kind of, there'd be like a supervisor that's kind of like making sure that everything is going right, and then I'd talk with that supervisor, be like, hey, so how's it going? And then like let me see the finished results. And then also I would like to do an anime, a cartoon of my work, but that one's like far off because like I estimate that's like something around like $10 million I'll need. So like that's kind of like more like fantasy world realm at this point. And then I don't know, maybe like a live action, like that'd be kind of cool. I might look at like the Witcher series as like it started as off as a book, got made into a game, and now it's being made into a Netflix live action show, and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Um, and then who knows after that? I mean, that's I don't want to get too far into that example. Um, and so, but that's just time. I just have to be patient. And just like with weight loss, I'm not going to see, like if you notice like on the screen, like I'll have it up here. I'll have it again where I'm doing my uh where it shows my weight going down. It also shows like my waist, and for the most part, I've been staying around the 50 inches waistline, um, which isn't. It's not really fun seeing that 50 each time, but at the same time, it's like takes it takes time for that waistline to go down for go from like 50. I mean, like, think about it. Like, when I was 150, I think I was like 30 inches, 30-inch waistline. So that's 20, only 20 inches, 20 inches from like if this was 30 inches, then like, and this is 50 inches, like it's only this much is decreasing. So it makes sense why I wouldn't see like changes happening with my waistline. If I was, like, I'd be dropping weight a lot faster. But since if I do each week is 2 pounds, um, then that means that eventually my waist will start decreasing. And so, yeah, it may suck right now, but it'll eventually happen. I feel like if you're still watching this, thank you. Um, I'm not quite sure. Let me know what you get out of this. Um, because it's almost like 2 hours, and I'm probably not going to like take out anything drastic out of from this video. So this is probably going to be like close to a 2 hour long video. Um, why are you still watching this? Like, it feels just watching some obese guy talking about how much he's going to lose weight, but like if you look into the numbers of how many people actually go through with their weight loss goals, it's pretty low number. So for all you know, as you're watching this, like I might not even like go through with my weight loss plan. I'm just like pretending, like not pretending, like I'm saying goals that I'm never going to reach. Or it's like with my web novel, like maybe like next week I stop writing. Like, you don't know. You don't even know who I am. I'm just some random guy on the internet on YouTube. Um, just because past history does not dictate future outcomes. And so just because I did write this web novel for like 2 years, um, who knows? Like, I think I'm gonna keep on going, but you as the viewer, like, there's no results to like give assurance as to like what I'm saying I'm actually gonna follow through on. I mean, if this is what we're doing right here, if this is like building a relationship, like building the trust and all that stuff, it's going to take some time. Because just because I think I'm going to do it, maybe you're watching and like, I don't know. This guy doesn't look very convincing. He's kind of overweight. He says a lot of words, but I'm not seeing a lot of action. Um, and so, yeah. Um, so yeah, it's definitely going to be a long time, which, yeah, it makes me think about stuff, like how long it'll be. And I'm sure if you're someone who is watching and you're like, I believe this person that I'm watching is going to fall through, but maybe you yourself are in a situation where like you don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel kind of situation. You're not seeing that part where it's like, I've made it past this. Maybe you're at a job where like you're frustrated, you haven't been promoted in a while, you haven't seen a significant pay raise. Um, Maybe like you're in a relationship that's like not really going anywhere, or it's like it's moving super slow, and so you don't feel like there's any progress being made, and or you're also trying to lose weight and you're just like staring at that scale and still saying that same number each and every morning. You wake up, use the restroom, bathroom, whatever, and you go on that scale and just says the same thing. Sometimes it even goes up, and you're like, why the hell am I doing this? I hate eating this food. I hate dealing with this. I wish I was thinner. And yeah, that's why I just keep on thinking. Just it's a time thing. It's just something that like you may not see results happening, but something that I just keep on hearing people talk about. It's like imagine if you had a gold mine or some other precious um, metal or mineral mine, and you're just working at it, and like when you decide to give up, you're like I'm there's no results. Like I'm wasting my time. Like I gotta be more realistic. Um, then then like maybe you're like 3 feet away from like reaching a goal. There's like a huge pile of gold or like diamonds or whatever you're aiming for, and the person that you sell it to, they go 3 feet in and they're like, whoa, like I've that was like the easiest thing ever, and they get all the credit. Um, so don't I don't know. That's what helps motivate me to keep on going is I don't want to be like that. I have a job, so that's what's helping me live daily and be able to deal with everyday circumstances. But um, yeah, like I don't want to be in a situation where I'm like, oh man, if I kept on going, like a year later, I'd have been a full time writer, and I'd have like 3 months from now, I would have gotten an email saying like, hey, we wanted to fly you out, and like we'll pay you to come talk to our guests about your experience, and like that's what helps propel my goal. Um, Maybe suddenly like doing these videos, people listen to my YouTube channel and they're like, wow, like yeah, sure, you might not have the best voice, but I like his story, and so they watch that, and so like my YouTube channel goes up, or maybe you're watching this and you're like, I don't like his YouTube channel. I only like the sound of his voice even, but I do like his story, and so I do like going to his website and reading his chapters and stuff. And I'll check out the Amazon stuff. I'll click on a few some of the ads I'm seeing. I'm not telling you to click on because I'm not sure that I'm supposed to do that. So I'm not saying click on anything. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Um, but maybe like you're going through and something catches your eye, and um, yeah, and so like maybe like things really like boost up for me. Um, and so yeah, like it would really suck if I just quit now and I was just like this much closer to that. Especially when I do have a job. Like I have a job that brings in money. So um so like there's really nothing standing in my way from reaching my goals. Um so yeah, like I think this video is about ready to come to a close. Um I'll I'll probably just edit the video and like post it. I'll probably post it tomorrow. This will probably take a while to render the video and then like upload it to YouTube. Um, but I don't know if you're still watching this close to 2 hours into the video. Like 2 hours passing by and you're just still watching this, like I kind of feel like you should at least leave a comment. Let alone like the video. If you're still here, like just like the video. Um, and then just let me know like in the comment section like what made you keep on watching. Were you just bored? Were you like driving somewhere and like you just need something to listen to? I sometimes do that. I sometimes listen to YouTube videos while I'm um, over like the speaker system. I'll just be listening to stuff like podcasts or audiobooks or whatever, something to listen to. Especially, I had one job that I had to like drive like 6 hours. Was it? Yeah, something like that. It was a crazy amount of hours, and like I listened to a lot of stuff, a lot of scary stories, a lot of audiobooks, a lot of podcasts, um, a bunch of stuff. So, hey, maybe like close to a 2 hour video is like the perfect thing, the perfect thing you need to get you through your driving day. Or maybe I don't I don't see a long haul trucker listening to my work to be honest, but maybe you're on the road and you just need someone to listen to for like 2 hours. That doesn't talk about politics or anything. It's just talking about everyday common sense type stuff. That's like not no one's trying to. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Um, I'm not trying to like. I am advertising my work. So like, but not directly. I don't make money directly from my work. It's more indirectly through like advertising and um, affiliates and other stuff like Amazon affiliates and stuff like that. That's how I make money off of my work or Patreon or something like that. So there's not like a T-shirt I'm selling or like some fitness program or some seminar for how to be a better writer or whatnot. So maybe you just need like to listen to someone's voice to keep you awake and not fall asleep. Or maybe you are using this video to fall asleep because you're like, this person's voice is, I have been told that my voice is sleep inducing. Um, they said it was in a positive way, but that's kind of a weird thing to tell someone that their voice is sleep inducing. Um, so yeah. Um, so next video, episode 3, I'm hoping that I'll have lost an additional 2 pounds or more. Um, I'll probably have more thoughts. Sometimes I repeat thoughts, so do be aware of that. And like I said, this is more for documentary purposes. So I can look back and see like the progress I made once I reach 150. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this channel once I hit my goal. So if you have ideas, like leave in the comments or just mention like why are you still watching this video or your thoughts or maybe I said something that was completely wrong in your mind and like we can like debate about it. That'd be fun. Or like make sure to like sharing this video is super helpful for the channel. Um, when you when you share this video, I believe from what I've learned about from other YouTube channels who specialize in this, if you share videos, um, it's better for the algorithm. If you like, if you comment, if you share, like these are all things that YouTube really likes to see. So I don't think it's this channel is going to be like something that actually makes. I don't think it will get even close to monetization. But if you think, if you're like, if you as the viewer are watching this and you're like, hey, I want to help that guy like reach his goals for like making a webcomic or whatever, like I'm gonna help this guy out. And I like what he talks about. I like the fact that There's no politics. I'm not talking about anything like that. Anything on the news or anything like probably not really controversial and like, but it's also maybe giving you ideas about like as an adult, like maybe you're thinking like maybe this is the day I'll start losing weight too, like or something like that. Like engagement really helps this channel. So if you want this channel to um, become something bigger, then make sure to like, subscribe, click all notifications, comment, and share. Sharing is really big. So like share on Twitter, share on Facebook, share on minds.com, um, share on um, email out to someone who's also trying to lose weight maybe. I don't know. If only do that if like the person actually wants to get this video. If someone's like, hey, can you send me like a video where like someone's like in my situation that I could get motivated, then do that. Don't like send I feel really bad if someone got this um as an email and they're like, why did I get this? Is that person telling me that I'm fat or something like that? I'd feel really bummed out if that was the case. But yeah, um just make sure to do the things I talked about. That really helps me out. And though I don't have any expectations, um, like an encouraging comment would help a lot. I think not just like with my weight loss, but kind of like my own mindset about this channel. If I got like tons of comments saying like, "Hey, I enjoy listening to your voice," blah blah, or if you go over to like my other channel, Creation Web Novel Studio, um, and you're watching Chapter One of Fantasy World, um, leave a comment saying like, "Hey, I just came from your weight loss YouTube channel," and like tell me something that you liked about the weight loss channel and the story that you're listening to, Chapter One, Fantasy World. That really helps me out. It's really encouraging. Um, or maybe if you want to give criticism, I'm actually okay with criticism. So if you're like, hey, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, and like here's why, like I'll send a reply back, saying like, oh wow, like you maybe that's a good point. I'll try to rethink that, or maybe I'll be like, oh that I think you misunderstood what I was trying to say, or something like I guess we'll have to agree to disagree or something like that. I'm pretty chill about dealing with criticism. Or maybe if I don't see it, I won't respond to it. If I don't respond, it's probably because I just didn't see it. So just um, make another comment with something similar. Don't spam it out because if it shows up in spam, I'll probably delete it. So yeah, okay. We'll see you next week, and hopefully next week you'll also hear me saying I reached my goal of 2 pounds, and then you'll hear my other thoughts about my writing, my job, things that go through my mind, hard times that I came up with, like I thought about, and then other things that just are in my mind at the time. This I don't know if this is a podcast. Is this a podcast? I don't know. Let me know if this is a podcast.